bar. 15, 14.
Welcome to The People Make the Places, episode 14, highlights part 2, Mike, May, and friends. Here are the highlights of the second half of our first year of The People Make the Places, episodes 8 through 12, episode 8, Peru and the Galapagos, episode 9, From Total Blindness to Vision, episode 10, Jerry Coons and the People of San Francisco, episode 11, The Camino of Spain and Western Europe, episode 12, Hawaii. Episode 8, April 2025. We are headed south of the equator to Peru and Ecuador.
I'm perched on a rock. It's just not any old rock in any old place. This is a rock that probably weighs several hundred tons. And it was placed here by the Incas hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Where I'm talking to you from is Machu Picchu, about 8,000 or 9,000 feet up in the Andes. Below us is the Urubamba River. You may be able to hear it. The wind's blowing and it carries the sound up to us and then back away. It's probably 1,000 feet below us. We're working our way down the mountain and there's a rope, a guide rope. I think actually it's a safety rope. It's even white. Ricky, hop up. He tries to take the shortcuts sometimes, which aren't always the best for me. Attaboy. Whoa. It's pretty tricky. Pretty tricky, Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky's taking the even harder way.
In order to get up some of the real steep places, Ricky's got to leap up. Hang on there, buddy. So I can't put any tension on his harness or he falls back or he goes down the cliff. So when the guide ropes switch sides, so that they're on the left side, which is the hand I have on the harness, I've got to put my right hand on the harness, walk sideways, and hold the rope with my left hand. So he's kind of guiding me, and I'm keeping him from sliding off the mountain. Ricky, any comments? That's about the gist of it. Crawling through the tunnel. Ricky is laying down in the tunnel. Whoa.
Watch your head, Robert. Stand up too much. You can stand up in here. Now, this is where it gets real tricky. There's stairs that lead up, and it's real wet.
Ooh.
Step over.
Is there another rock?
No, you just step over onto the ground. And let's see, looking this way, if you look down, you see the river. You can see the train tracks, and then the peak going straight up, and the clouds are kind of gray. And that peak goes down where the river bends again, and where it bends around, that's where the mine or whatever that is, the electric plant is down there. And there's more mountains and more mountains and more mountains behind that. The crags are real sharp. You can see a lot of brownish rock, and then the vegetation's real green, all different colors of green. It looks lighter in some spots because the sun's shining on it through the clouds. There's some nice shadows coming down. On some parts it looks like trees are just flowing over the top, down in the little crevices of the mountains. Some of the vegetation's a lot thicker, and some of it's thinner, and some of it's rocky. So it goes from trees to grass to rock. And some parts of the trees look like they're spilling over the top.
Our first day in Quito, Ecuador, en route to the Galapagos Islands, and we're staying at an Airbnb, really nice place. I'm here with Gina.
Hi.
Patrick.
Hello.
Diane.
Hello.
Okay, now we're climbing up this tower in the basilica, and the steps are sort of hand over hand, like a fire escape. What do you think, Gina?
I think it's amazing, and trying to understand it, once I got the hang of it, it's fairly easy.
Our guide wouldn't go up.
A lot of people aren't supposed to do things like this. Oh.
This is where I'm carrying my cane, but I'm not using it. I just putting my hands on the steps in front of me. There's kind of railings, sort of a cage on the side. Okay, and we're at the top, Gina.
Here we go.
Patrick?
Oh man, we're looking at the front of the spears of the building behind you, Gina, and then we've got a bird's eye view, 360 degrees of Quito.
Gina, blind woman of action, just landed in Balcha, Galapagos, Ecuador, and we are on the water taxi on our way to our first adventure. So stay tuned for our adventures. Ciao. We are on this amazing island with all kinds of birds, like the red-footed booby, the blue-footed booby, the Nazca booby, and the most magnificent thing I'd like to share with you is one of the things I enjoy, the sounds. There was a sea turtle under me and a sea lion.
The sea lions are coming over there. Over here on the right side.
Been amongst so many cool animals, and I'm comfortable now in the water. It's so beautiful. So exciting.
How exciting is it?
So exciting.
What's happening out there?
Yeah, we just saw a white-tipped big shark. It was so amazing.
Did you get to pet it?
No, I wanted to pet it, but I think it's against the rules at the Galapagos National Park.
You have to stay 2 meters away.
It's so exciting to see a shark. I'm not afraid, and I can hear all the sounds of the rocks. It's beautiful out here. I mean, there's a Moorish fish, sturgeon fish. What else was out there, Victor?
Big puphead parrotfish.
Oh, a big puphead parrotfish.
Yellowfin swordfish.
Oh, a bunch of angelfish. But the shark is exciting because I hadn't seen one yet.
So I want to pass this around so we can hear whatever people sound like.
I'm Ronnie Steiner.
Orna Steiner
From Israel.
Yeah. And we just love to be here with all of you guys. Yeah.
We're Claire and
Neil
Smith from the UK. We love to travel and we're having a wonderful time.
I'm Dan Jarvis from Canada, and this is
Jeannie Fraser, Dan's wife from British Columbia. We are just blown away by what we are seeing here.
Shivi Siva. I'm from New York. It's my first cruise, and I'm just blown away like everybody else with the abundance of animals and sea life.
Hi, I'm Beth.
I'm Dan.
Shide. We didn't even practice that. We did that pretty well, Dan. We're from Cincinnati, Ohio, and this trip has been on our bucket list for quite some time, and we're super excited to be here with everybody. It's really fantastic.
I'm Natalie Hebert. I am from Florida, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime trip for me, as well as everybody else, and we're just loving all of the animals that Victor ordered for us to see, and we're hoping to see more and having a great time.
I'm Gina Harper, your wife, from Davis and Reno. Having an amazing time. It's been on my bucket list, and I'm super excited.
Well, and this is Diane Slater, and I appreciate Mike and Gina inviting me along on this trip. It is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I can't believe all the incredible things we've seen and the wonderful people that I've met. So, thank you.
Hello. My name is Victor Mendia. I am a guide of the Galapagos National Park. I am very pleased to have a wonderful group going around this nice itinerary that Galaxy Orion has, and I am very sure that you are enjoying this trip, and we have more. Gina, behind you there are some sea lions playing in the water. They are swimming, they are coming to us. There are like 4 or 5 young ones.
Wow.
Now they went away.
And what color are they?
They are the black. When they are in the water, they get that color. Those are the frigate birds.
Wow, that's a neat sound.
We have a Nazca booby on the ground, 3 meters ahead.
Wow, so these are
The new babies. Nazca boobies nest on the ground. The blue-footed boobies, they nest on the ground too. The red-footed boobies, they nest on the trees.
Episode 9, May 2025. Here are some of the people who define my new vision adventure, beginning with the vision scientists in the BBC documentary narrated by Juliet Stevenson.
This is the story of Mike May, who was blinded when he was 3 years old. 42 years later, he was offered eye surgery that could restore his sight. But the risks are great. It's one of the biggest decisions Mike will ever have to make.
Oliver Sacks.
I think that if a sense is suddenly added, the whole economy of life can be altered, because people have previously depended on other senses. All their habits, all their patterns of living are based on touch and hearing. So very difficult to have an additional sense. It seems like a gift, but it is a dangerous gift, and it may disturb one very deeply. There are cases in the literature of people sort of pulling out their eyes, or just closing their eyes and not wanting to use it.
Dr. Ione Fine.
There's a famous philosophical debate which was started by a philosopher, Molyneux. Suppose you had a man who was blind since birth, so he'd only ever felt spheres and cubes, and then his sight was restored to him. Would he be able to tell a sphere from a cube just by looking at it? And this gets at the fundamental question of how is our perception of the world shaped by our visual experience? And Mike, of course, is the answer to that question.
Brian Bashan.
I think the story is very little about blindness and more about the amazing adaptability of the human character. Mike embraced change and became an extremely good blind guy, particularly learning the self-confidence and attitude that comes with being a fully actualized blind person. And in some ways, it's a wonderful symbolic way to look at this new vision, but it's only the latest example of a life that embraces change. Should he become blind later on in life, he'll embrace that as well. Sight is not the be-all and end-all. Sight is a lovely thing, a sensual thing, but something that can be explored and then, as Mike may have to do later, let go of again.
We have a story so amazing, we have to bring it to you right now.
It is the moment of truth for Mike May and his eye surgeon.
A Davis man who has been blind most of his life may soon be able to see again.
From London, here again is Stone Phillips.
Most of us take our eyesight for granted. You may feel a little differently after you see this next story. It's about a man blind since the age of 3 who was given the chance to see again. But there's a hitch. The operation is risky. It could restore his sight or rob him of the little vision he still has. Is it a gamble worth taking, and will it pay off?
Good morning, America.
As we said, you're going to meet a man now who had his sight restored in a way that has only happened maybe 20 times anywhere in the world, as far as we know, in documented ways. His story is now the subject of a new book by Robert Kurson called Crashing Through, which follows Mike May's surprisingly difficult journey from blindness. Then one day, a doctor said there was revolutionary new surgery, which transplanted corneal stem cells into the eye, and with a corneal transplant, would let the light shine through. It is great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And thank you for the compliment on my green.
Oh, I love it. That's beautiful.
Jacket.
Charles Osgood.
To see again after years and years of blindness is an amazing blessing. But it turns out it's also a very big challenge. John Blackstone this morning has the story of a man who fully appreciates that blessing and is more than up to the challenge.
Mike May's remarkable story of blindness and sight is the story of a man who could never resist adventure.
NPR Morning Edition.
After most of a lifetime of blindness, Michael May is learning to see. He was 3.5 years old when a chemical explosion took away his eyesight. 46 years later, surgery restored some vision in his right eye. He is one of the few people in recorded history to have their sight restored after a long period of blindness, and his case is recorded this week in the journal Nature Neuroscience. Michael May joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Robert Kurson comments on meeting Stevie Wonder with me.
Well, that was another one of the most thrilling days for me. And this was, early on in our own working together, where I was interviewing you, and we flew in to Los Angeles and we had an appointment to meet Stevie, and we went to his studio.
It was a pretty amazing experience to be reading a book about oneself, and you, of course, read it to me in its final draft form, and to actually hear that was both exciting, nerve-wracking. I was on edge. I was on a flight to Sydney, and I, of course, didn't sleep the whole flight. I was listening to the book nonstop.
In 4th grade, he discovered traffic safety equipment in the playground supply closet. He signed up for the safety patrol class and showed up for training with the rest of the hopefuls. It was a half hour before the instructor realized what was going on and pulled him aside and told him that a person had to be able to see in order to help children cross the street. The same news was delivered to Medina, Mike's resource teacher. Medina asked Mike what he thought they should do. Mike told him that he knew he could be a good crossing guard, and he told him he couldn't stand the idea of not getting a chance. Medina told him to go to the principal to make his case, and that he would back him the whole way.
Here is Robert interviewing O.J. in 2005 about the cornea transplants I had as a child.
So on these transplants that Mike had, you were very hopeful for them, and then you could see that they weren't taking and it wasn't working out right, and that was a letdown to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really, really hard to build up all this hope and expectations. The expectation is, yes, it's going to work this time.
Right.
Well, it didn't. So finally, when the doctor said, there's nothing more we can do, wait until we get some other kinds of influence that could help us.
And was that terribly disappointing to you to hear that?
No. I was actually glad because I wouldn't have to go through that thing of hoping and being disappointed another time.
Right.
Robert speaking at O.J.'s memorial in 2007.
I thought I'd heard a remarkable life when I talked to Mike, but in certain ways it was nothing compared to hearing about O.J.'s life. I'm inundated with emails and letters, almost all of which say, that Mike May is an incredible person. And then it's always this ... followed by, but oh, that mother of his.
Richard Gregory about SB.
And then he put his hands on it, touched it, and I never forget this. He stood back and said, now I've touched it, I can see. But secondly, his wife, he did not find her in the least bit attractive or beautiful visually. And Marcus, she wasn't amazingly attractive or beautiful, I have to say. But anyway, he really didn't like her face at all, which is sad. And the word see can refer both to vision and to understanding. And I think actually there's a deep truth behind this, that seeing something is in a way understanding it. Understanding and seeing are highly related, neurologically, if you like.
It was all too much for him. And in the end, he died early, and people estimated that he died of disappointment. I'd never heard that before, died of disappointment. And so that's what a lot of what I remember discussing in England and with Richard Gregory and with the other researchers, and them asking you all kinds of questions because they knew the literature also. And they were not just asking the only person in the world they could ask these questions to. They were asking someone who clearly was not dying of disappointment. And so it was just an amazing thing to behold. If I have been able to take even a little bit of inspiration from you and from your mom, OJ, and how she looked at the world and how you look at the world, and been able to infuse that in my kids, that's just another branch of the friendship that I'll never be able to thank you enough for. So this was much, much more than a book for me in the end. And, I love the book, and I'm sure it will endure, but I'm certain also that our friendship will endure as well.
I never quite cared for the title of the book, but once I heard the song Crashing Through took on real meaning. Sarah with Stevie at my mother's memorial.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Sarah and Park on stage with Stevie in a Nashville arena.
There were two people that I met who were friends. Actually, the amazing thing is, I met this friend of mine about a few years ago. He's blind as a bat.
Bruce Rubin.
The best thing about Ghost is it got me a film career, so I got a chance to meet Mike, and then I got a chance to meet Gina, and it's really one of the great love stories. And I have to say, as much as Ghost touches me, the fact is Ghost also touched a lot of people, and the most fascinating part of it is that it brought Mike and Gina together on their first date. And they went to see it in London, and then they went to see it again on Broadway. And I think the first date was probably significant. I think the second date kind of cemented things. And now we're here celebrating an actual extraordinary wedding and the story of love. The love inside, you take it with you. This is love that they have forever. You can feel it.
Welcome to episode 10.
We're standing at the East Brother Light Station fog building where we're firing up the equipment to activate the foghorns on top of the building. And this is a very involved process since we're using equipment from the early 1900s. There's a gas engine, a pony engine that drives a diesel engine, which drives a compressor, and those pistons then generate the air pressure that goes into the tank that, when it's pressurized, will activate the foghorns. There's two of them, a north foghorn and a south foghorn. And that should be pressurizing the tanks now. So in a bit, we'll be able to hear the foghorns.
That sends compressed air to that foghorn we were looking at. And if you follow it back, it comes from these two tanks that store compressed air. And the way we know how much air is in there is with this gauge. Right now we're reading 0 psi, so that means we need to get more air into these tanks.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is pretty loud.
Here it comes again. Holy cow. Wow.
Amazing.
It's all done.
Here at the East Brother Light Station, that's what you would be hearing miles away.
Tour de San Francisco by Patrick May. Summertime in San Francisco can truly be frigid. The Tour de San Francisco was 50 kilometers long, 30 miles, and chilly for the 6,000 cyclists. It was the first group ride for Mike and me.
Way Fun, Friday, August 4th, 2006, by Mike May. Exciting, intense, funny, intriguing, fascinating, exhausting. These are just a few of the words that come to mind in trying to imbue what goes on in 5 days of adventure when 31 people from 7 states meet, learn, and set out to see what they are made of. Here are a few stories and snippets about the people who defined Way Fun 2006 from the Napa foothills to the streets of San Francisco.
This is Mike May, and my highlight for today, Way Fun, was finding the St. Francis of Assisi statue up on an alley. How about you, Adam?
Adam Taylor.
What was your highlight?
Going to the cookie factory.
My name's Kelly Taylor, and my highlight of the day was seeing my son happy.
I'm Mark Piggin, and the highlight for the day was going to get to the Matron and see the Titanic thing and arriving there safely. And leaving there and finding the restaurant.
This is Chris Grabowski, and my highlight for the day was pretty much the same as Mark's, is finding going to the Titanic exhibition, finding out that I was one of the passengers that passed on, and finding the restaurant, and then finding our way back to the hotel using the GPS product.
And my name's Kevin Shaw, and my highlight for today would be going to Chinatown and the Cookie Factory and coming back alive.
Hi, this is Carl Simmons. The highlight for my day was getting back to the hotel.
This is Sandy Staples, and my highlight was finding the gate at Chinatown.
This is Siobhan Leahy senior, and my highlight for the day was having my daughter tell me which way to go instead of me telling her which way to go.
Hello, this is Jeff Lucasina, and my highlight of today was being in San Francisco and going to the tea company and getting to purchase and smell a lot of good teas.
My name is Eileen Akers. My highlight was a delicious Japanese lunch and the camaraderie of being with special people.
My name is Gil Lutz, and the highlight of the day was really getting a beautiful feel of San Francisco with some very good friends and just having a wonderful, wonderful day.
Hey, it's Siobhan Leahy, the daughter. My highlight of the day was, first of all, getting to Pier 39 was pretty cool after getting lost a couple times, especially being that we're the Jersey girls. And also the Pearl Factory was pretty cool.
Hi, this is Ginger Kutch. The highlight of my day was just going around San Francisco with a bunch of blind people and getting where we wanted to go without having to ask directions.
This is Jim Kutch. My highlight of the day was going to the pier and going to the Fudge Factory.
And this is Charles LaPierre, and my highlight of the day was watching everyone use the system I designed with Mike and seeing it get everyone where they wanted to go and really explore the city on their own independently.
All right, yeah. Say it for us once.
Arrived at destination.
Riding in a Waymo autonomous vehicle.
We are en route to the Blind Travel Summit. This is Mike May with Johnny riding shotgun. I guess we're both shotguns, so there's nobody in the driver's seat. Oh, what happened? We lost our driver. Gina, what happened? I wonder why we had such a quiet driver over there.
Not very talkative.
Yeah.
Beautiful day in San Francisco on a super cool walk with my friend Jerry, who leads Jose Can You See blind walking tours of San Francisco. And we have a group of 10 blind people. Jerry is also blind, and he is the one doing the guiding and all the narrating. And we're part of a travel summit. So we're all excited to be here, love the beautiful day, and love to share all our tips and tricks. Ciao! Woo!
Yeah. Ciao.
Yay, Gina.
Oh, say, can you see?
I'm Jerry Kuntz. Jose, Can You See blind guided walking tours of San Francisco. Thank you.
Yay!
I've been lost here as a kid back in 1956. Yes, I'm that old. And on Telegraph Hill is where Coit Tower is, kind of like the end of a fire hose. It was built in memoriam as a testament to the firefighters who fought all the fires in San Francisco after the 1906 earthquake.
Episode 11, July 2025. Join us on El Camino de Santiago in Spain with family and friends in 2008, followed by my 1988 cassette tape journal in Spain, France, Switzerland, Sweden, and Denmark.
We're walking along the Camino de Santiago trail here next to a road. Dogs barking because the church bells are going off at noon. Got the ocean on our right. Absolutely beautiful day, nice temperature. Beach all along here with lots of people down on the beach. Now we're walking down this fairly smooth, gravelly road, approaching the ocean. White waves are crashing off to the right. You can hear them from here. The sun's behind us. We're in the middle of our 17 or so kilometer route between the town of Zarauz and Deba. We just went through a little town with a church and not much more, called Azkisu. And our next interim town is called, let's see.
Virtual position 1.32 kilometers southwest, 70 degrees left. Zumaya.
Zomaya. And have it in sailing mode, which is really great because we're curving around on these different roads and it gives you an idea just where you are. Oh, I love the sound of those waves down there. And our final destination is
9.08 kilometers west, 16 degrees left, Deba.
16 degrees left at Deba. Okay, we're walking along with a beautiful panorama of the ocean. Off to one side, the sun behind us, a field full of sheep here.
they are. Take a seat. I really wish I had a super high atmosphere for this.
Yes, yes. And little, you know, kind of like a national costume or...
Yeah, it was at here in Seraus or
Yeah.
yeah. Yes. It was closed by the time we went by.
Yeah, but it was pretty.
Yeah. I actually bought a vest like that. I wear it sometimes to work.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, it's a wool. Oh, that spice-colored brownish red.
It kind of looked a little bit Amish-like.
Yeah.
But very simple and plain and pretty.
Yeah. I love that
Spice
wool.
red brown one sounds really good.
Well, it's March 31st, 1988. We're standing out here on the medium in Barcelona, Spain. The sun is just trying to peek through, but it's still a little overcast. A breeze coming from behind my back. I'm facing the water in the port. And of course, here in the middle, there's all these birds are chirping away. They're at different stands for sale. Actually, whole animal collections, birds and hamsters, and one place had a monkey, a rabbit, Angora rabbit, all sorts of stuff. Just met a blind guy, Andre, and Ron snagged him. He was using a cane. The Hare Krishna went by, having a bullhorn. It's so noisy in this town, they had to have a bullhorn in order to be heard. Your whole day will shift around here. You'll get up at 1 o'clock and go to bed at 1 o'clock.
Well, we stayed up a little longer. I had some coffee down the hotel room, in the hotel lobby there.
Yeah. I'm now on the train headed from Geneva to Gothenburg, Sweden. Going through the countryside of Germany right now, midday on Friday, April 8th, 1988. Sitting in this fairly small room, but adequate, in Gothenburg, Sweden. Real nice cultural experience was going to a birthday party Saturday night. One of Helen's good friends, Annika, 25th birthday. And I soon learned what a nice advantage it is having at least some English spoken by virtually everybody. It's now April 11th, Monday morning, on the train from Gothenburg going to Copenhagen. Been on the train for a while. It's a nice sunny day. And I thought we were just going to get on the ferry. At some point we'd take a ferry from Sweden over to Denmark.
Nok har været med til at starte det, som punkrock er i dag. Velvet Underground og et nummer, som hedder Venus in Force. Men skal jeg den glæde have, måtte være første dag. Nemlig inden han går hen til makkeren og siger: farvel lille ven, vi skal aldrig ses igen. Jeg er pludselig blevet meget fornærmet.
A little bit of sample of radio was heard from Copenhagen. Today, well, we got up and had breakfast and just had a nice lazy morning. Went downtown and Lisa took me to the town center and showed me how to get there on the bus, how to get around on my own. And we went to an exhibition of Christian IV, the king that built a bunch of buildings here about 400 or 300 years ago. Showed a bunch of artifacts from his time and his castle, and so apparently he also lost most of the Danish territory to the Swedes. Denmark used to have Norway and part of Sweden. King Christian lost it all.
From Denmark, I went to Switzerland to meet several friends, including the famous singer Glenn Yarbrough of the Limelighters. I met Glenn through my friend Fiona, who was the French interpreter for the U.S. blind ski team at the first World Winter Games in 1982.
Well, from the sound of the train to the sound of the airplane, a 3-week enjoyable trip of many different places and currencies and languages and people is coming to a close. My overall impression is very positive. I had a good time. I'm
remembering being in France and the difficulty of the language, things were so much easier traveling with Fiona and speaking fluent French. It just changed the whole attitude of the way people treated us, which reminds me why things seemed so much easier in France on my previous visits, always having been with French-speaking people. It was nice, in contrast, going up to Sweden and Denmark, where lots of English was spoken. The contrast of many languages and additional currencies was a little befuddling. I lose track of which language to say thank you in. Is it merci, tak, danke, thank you? It all gets rather confusing. I'll go ahead and sign off on this trip on April 18th, 1988, headed back from Europe to San Francisco. Episode 12, The People of Hawaii.
4 hours, 55 minutes is the flight time to get to Honolulu. Looks like a really nice day for flying. Beautiful out of here, nice day over the Pacific, and of course 82 degrees in the islands.
And there we are, sitting here on this 777 in San Francisco, en route to Honolulu soon. Gina and I are headed over for 17 days on Oahu and then the Big Island in Kona.
Gina, blind woman of action at Disney's Aulani Resort on Oahu. One of the things we love about being at the Disney Resort is all the performances and characters that we get to engage with. Some of the challenges we face are that it's a very complicated resort. One of the places we've been going every day is our favorite restaurant is called the Monkey Pod, and to get there you have to go through this resort through many levels, out through a side door, down into a parking lot, out the driveway of the parking lot, and down a long sidewalk that takes you to a crossing that you can push a button, but there's absolutely no indication if it's your turn to walk or not. So we use the basic old tried and true, which is listening to traffic, and when the parallel traffic goes, then we go. And if there's no parallel traffic, then we do have to really be careful and listen.
Yeah. So here's our wonderful server at the Monkey Pod. Tell us your name.
Hi, I'm Leah.
Leah, and how long have you been here at this restaurant?
I've only been here since about December, so going on 5 months now.
All right. Well, thanks so much. You've been wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You folks
Thank
are
you so
wonderful
much. Yeah,
as well.
thanks so much.
Of course.
We're excited about that dessert.
Oh, so happy.
Thank you. Brian and Jen are definitely the people that make the places for us in Hawaii.
Hi, guys.
And so Brian and Jen, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your recollection on how we met each other.
When we first moved here, after about 6 months of living here, our oldest son kind of followed in our footsteps, and he was going to school and was a part-time Uber driver, and he met you and the kids. He took the kids hiking, and then you were asking about some other things to do, and he told you about the kayak shop that I worked at in Kailua on the east side of the island. You called up, and that was kind of the first time we met. We did a tour out to the Mokulua Islands, a kayak tour. That was 2017, like I think at the end of the summer in 2017, if I remember right.
I want to add one piece, though, is first meeting Christian, he was such a nice, open-hearted type of guy, and I'm always chatty and gathering information about interesting things to do, and he mentioned you, and I thought, oh, I absolutely have to call Brian because I love kayaking. That speaks to the Gina Blind Woman of Action piece. What also resonated with me is when I met you, you did not have any concerns about me being totally blind or how are we going to hike together. You definitely had the can-do attitude and we figure it out attitude. And even that hike wasn't super flat and easy. There were pieces of it that were pretty rigorous and hilly and basically waves crashing against the rocks on an island. And so I have always appreciated that. And then meeting Jen subsequently, she has the same can-do attitude. So we really love that about the two of you.
Yeah, I was hiding all my stuff inside, Gina. I was freaking out. I'm like, wait, what? No, you make it very easy to tour with, be around, do stuff, do outdoor stuff, hike, whatever it is, the paddleboarding, You make it very easy. Yeah, the surfing was definitely a little more challenging just because there was a lot of people around and the logistics of it and making sure nobody got hurt, I guess, is the best way to kind of say that.
So we thought we were going to the Cocoa Crater Botanical Gardens. And in the meantime, Mike had connected with a gal named Sabrina from the Botanical Gardens. So we take an Uber out to the Botanical Gardens, and we're in a parking lot, there's signs.
And the Uber driver is telling us there's no buildings.
And we had that as a piece of information, that we were going to pay a small amount to get into the gardens, and there would be some buildings. So that was the big mystery. And then I heard some people walking down the path, so they were telling me about what signs were around, and come to find out, now the Uber driver has left, come to find out we're at the wrong botanical gardens. So the people that were walking down the path, I asked them if they'd be willing to give us a ride back into Honolulu, because it's about 30 minutes away. And I remember thinking, wow, this is like hitchhiking or taking a ride from a stranger from a long time ago. And they seemed super legit, and they offered to give us a ride. And there were really cool people. So there was Tom, Ina, and Alex, and Mike and me and Johnny all in Tom's truck. And come to find out, they're all part of a hiking group. So they generously gave us a ride back to the Botanical Gardens, which had a different name. They were called Foster Botanical Gardens, but we had never heard of them referred to by Foster Botanical Gardens.
And we found out because Sabrina called me while we were in the parking lot, and I'm telling her we're here, and she's going outside, she's walking around, she's looking for us and not finding us. And that's finally when we discovered the disconnect. And then we were worried, would Uber even be available to come get us, because we were kind of far away from Waikiki.
And it felt a little disappointing until all the good things happened, like Sabrina and Mike figuring out the disconnect, and Tom and his group offering to give us a ride, because we had arranged for an actual docent to give us a tour at the Botanical Gardens, and that was supposed to be at 10:30 a.m. So by this point, we've missed the 10:30 a.m. time.
And surprisingly, they had Braille maps, or what turned out to be a Braille guide of the plants, names, and descriptions.
And not only that, is they were really current Braille descriptions of the plants, and that was shocking. So we made it there, we met the guide, and he had a friend with him. His name was Craig, and the buddy's name was Mike, and we had such an incredible experience. Craig, from being a docent, had a lot of things we could touch, and that's what makes a tour for a blind person extraordinarily special. It seemed like a stress-free day, even though we went through all of that, so it was just beautiful.
Well, thanks for rescuing us, you guys.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, there's only one trailer there, so good.
When we were concerned we wouldn't get an Uber, we've had that issue before, like an Uber takes us out there, but there's not any like milling about, so to get a ride back is a like dicey proposition. Wonderful.
But something I don't tote around is this. Feel this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Feel all around, because you're going to get the sense of the double coconut.
Wow.
It's not a coconut, mind you, but it is indeed from a palm.
Wow.
That's huge.
It's
gigantic. Exactly.
And it's empty. Imagine if it had stuff in it and fell on your head.
It once did. And these will fall, and you don't want to be under them. But they take 6 years to mature on the tree.
Really?
The tree can live 800 years. We're going to visit it today.
So is that abnormal to have a double?
Now, this is the way this tree grows. It's
they
not
all
actually,
come that way.
It's not actually a coconut, but it reminded people basically of coconuts being large and heavy, so they just misnamed it, frankly.
Wow.
Yeah. But its other name is Coco de Mer.
Wow.
These used to float in the Indian Ocean because they're from the Seychelles Islands.
Wow. So it's probably 16 by 16 by 8 inches.
Fair enough.
And what color is it?
It's a kind of a medium brown.
Like a coconut?
a little bit lighter, and it's got gradations of color.
I see.
So you can feel the texture.
Right,
so there are longitudinal lines here.
Yeah.
So those add to the visual
Oh, and
pattern.
look, like this one's super smooth. But I mean, this one right here, this longitudinal line is super smooth.
And it's smudgy darker.
Yeah, it's
so
so
this
fascinating.
could be colored this way.
Wow.
What's the name of this tree again?
Baobab. Baobab. It's known as the tree of life because it is incredibly useful. Is that it's not the regular ringed tree.
Right.
So what you get is a pithy-like wood.
Wow.
And it does not fossilize.
Wow.
So they didn't even have record of its origins, but now they know that 7 other varieties originated in Madagascar, off the African coast, yeah?
Wow. Mike, what's it hitting against at the bottom part?
Straight ahead.
Each other, it's just hitting against each other, I see. These are so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I like the little beads there.
Yep.
Many thanks to our new and our old friends in Hawaii. Everyone is so hospitable and helpful. A special thanks to Brian and Jen Allen and to the many people we met on our flights, in hotels, on the street, and in rideshare. Mostly those are a one-time interaction, but you never know where a few may lead. In Hawaii, they would say, "We are one big ohana." Thanks for listening to the highlights of year 1 of the People Make the Places, Mike, May, and Friends. Check out the full episodes to learn more about the special people from these episodes. Look for season 2, episode 15, the first weekend next month. We will be back with more original content. Please rate and share.